Hey Athey kids and parents! This weekend in Athey Kids, we are reading from Exodus 14 and 15 about God miraculously parting the Red Sea. After the 10 plagues and the Passover, God planned one more display of his power. He caused Pharaoh to lead his army against the Israelites so that God could win a huge victory over Egypt while Israel just watched silently. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell the people of Israel to turn back and encamp in front of Pi-hahiroth between Migdol and the sea, in front of Baal-zephon. You shall encamp facing it by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the people of Israel, they are wandering in the land. The wilderness has shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will pursue them. And I will get the glory over Pharaoh and all his host, and the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord." And they did so. When Pharaoh drew near, the people of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians were marching after them, and they feared greatly. And the people of Israel cried out to the Lord. They said to Moses, "Is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you have taken us away to die in the wilderness? What have you done to us in bringing us out of Egypt?" And Moses said to the people, "Fear not. Stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will work for you today. For the Egyptians whom you see today, you shall never see again. The Lord will fight for you, and you will have only to be silent." Then the angel of God who was going before the host of Israel moved and went behind them, and the pillar of cloud moved from before them and stood behind them, coming between the host of Egypt and the host of Israel. And there was the cloud, and there was the darkness. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord drove back the sea by a strong east wind all night and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. The people of Israel went into the midst of the sea on dry ground, the waters being a wall to them on either side of them. The Egyptians pursued and went in after them into the midst of the sea, all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. In the morning watch, the Lord in the pillar of fire and of cloud took down on the Egyptian forces and threw the Egyptian forces into a panic, clogging their chariot wheels so that they drove heavily. And the Egyptians said, "Let us flee from before Israel, for the Lord fights for them against the Egyptians." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the sea, that the water may come back upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen." The waters returned and covered the chariots, and the horsemen and all of the host of Pharaoh that had followed them into the sea. Not one of them remained. Thus the Lord saved Israel that day from the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the seashore. Then Moses and the people of Israel sang this song to the Lord, saying, "I will sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider he has thrown into the sea. Your right hand, O Lord, glorious in power, your right hand, O Lord, shatters the enemy. In the greatness of your majesty you overthrow your adversaries. You send out your fury. It consumes them like the stubble. You have led in your steadfast love the people whom you have redeemed. You have guided them by your strength to your holy abode. You will bring them in and plant them on your own mountain, the place, O Lord, which you have made for your abode. The sanctuary, O Lord, which your hands have established. The Lord will reign forever and ever." God divided the Red Sea, and then after the Israelites crossed, he caused the Red Sea to return to its place, drowning Pharaoh's entire army. In response, all Israel feared him and sang about his great glory and power. The teaching points this week will vary slightly from classroom to classroom, such as in the younger pre-K through primetime classes, we will learn the problem. Pharaoh and his army chased the Israelites. The rescue. God parted the Red Sea to save Israel. The victory. God drowned the Egyptian army. And the song. Israel sang praise to their deliverer. In the older next level classes, the points will be the plan. The Lord chose to fight against Pharaoh and his army. The battle. The Lord fought for Israel. The celebration, Israel sang praise to the Lord their warrior. This weekend, we want to drive home what the crossing of the Red Sea is a picture of. God saved his people and destroyed their enemies in the crossing of the Red Sea. Likewise, God will punish his enemies who have not repented and believed in the sacrifice of Christ, but he will save the Christian from death and we get the privilege to praise Him. We hope to see you this weekend. Bye.